ColORCHESTRA is back.
Our new season of auditions for classical musicians is now available. Performance opportunities for students, young professionals, and seasoned artists.
Perform a concerto with orchestras around the world. We have 4 orchestras this season. Perform with orchestras throughout the US, Czechia, and Egypt. New this season, opportunities for composers to have their orchestral works recorded by the Boulder Symphony Orchestra, mastered and distributed on the world's most known music streaming platforms.
Audition live from the comfort of your own home. Get live evaluations from expert judges and expand your online presence through our international internet broadcasts. Additional award and performance opportunities are also available. Visit our website for full details. Don't miss out on these wonderful opportunities to advance as a musician and perform on a world-renowned stage. We look forward to hearing your performances.
Welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live programs. Thank you for joining us today. Our channel is dedicated to bringing live performances and events from international artists delivered to the audiences from around the globe. I am James Welch, and I am one of your hosts for today. We're presenting the ColORCHESTRA Auditions. Musicians are auditioning for an opportunity to perform with orchestras around the world. We have the goal of these auditions is to encourage, nurture, and reward musicians who are proactive about sharing their art and developing their careers. Together, we are providing opportunities for musicians to discover their unique artistic voice, take initiative, present themselves on their own terms, and carve out their own career paths. And we have 4 orchestras here. Let's take a look here. And we have this thing looping here that's showing you all the orchestras. What are they? Yes, the Western New York Chamber Orchestra, the Bohuslav Martinu Philharmonic Orchestra in Czechia, the Cairo Opera Orchestra in Egypt, and the Boulder Symphony Orchestra, which we'll be auditioning for later, and that's Boulder, Colorado. And we have such a wonderful round of auditions coming up here. And I would like to just take a second here. We need to introduce our second host. We have the fabulous and amazing Steve Robinson among us. And Steve, welcome. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, James, and we had a wonderful first hour. Am I on? We had a wonderful.
You're on.
Yeah, there we go. We had a wonderful hour in the last break, and now we have three very wonderful musicians who will be performing for us. For those of you who weren't watching earlier, we're going to start with a performance of the Beethoven Violin Concerto, the entire concerto, with Dina Nestorenko, a wonderful violinist, and she's accompanied by Thorego Nascimento. And one little special feature of Dina's performance is that she wrote her own cadenzas for this piece. Dina is a Russian-born violinist now living in Dallas. And we have 3 judges. They'll be judged, and the judges' comments come directly after the performance, and they speak directly to the musicians, and the musicians get a chance to talk with them and flush things out, and it's really a wonderful and very unique opportunity. And
we have a great time here.
These performances are, this broadcast is being aired on Virtual Concert Hall's many platforms, its own platform, the virtualconcerthalls.com, but also on Facebook, on Alignable, on Instagram, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Vimeo, and Facebook. It's all over the place. And did I mention YouTube? Yes. So this truly is a worldwide broadcast. And we should introduce our judges. And yes, let's do that. Let's bring them on. Our judge is Lisa Lehman, is one of our wonderful judges.
Oh, we don't have Lisa with this one.
Okay.
But we do have the fabulous Joanna Moffett from Core Productions
Oh,
in Chicago, and a wonderful soprano. And she relocated from Western New York to Chicago, where she has been making a splash across the Chicago arts scene, the Windy City, and known for her brilliant performances of Mozart and Puccini, and her starting Core Productions. And she is just fabulous, and we're so touched to have her here today. So blessed. Welcome, Joanna. How you doing?
I'm feeling great. Thanks so much for having me. It's very, very exciting. I can't wait to hear this Beethoven concerto.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have this is gonna be a great concert here. You know, it's just great rep, great musicians, and everything all around.
Yeah.
Who else do we have here today? We have Gevorg Sargsyan, a Singapore-based conductor and musician, and will be conducting the Bohuslav Martinu Philharmonic for this concert that we have. And he's known for everything, everywhere. And Gevorg, I don't even know where you are right now. Where are you?
he's in Saudi Arabia.
He's Oh, Gevorg, we can't hear you. We'll have to fix that in tech. But we're great. We're welcome. We're welcoming you here, and we'll get that fixed underway in a few minutes here. And who else do we have here in the judges poll? We have Dikran Atamian. I hope I said that right. Is he here? I think he left us. Okay, well, we'll introduce him a little bit later. And we have the judges here, and welcome. And oh, look, we're already getting comments. Yeah, you can leave a comment in YouTube. Oh, here he is. All right, welcome. You know, pianist, artist, manager, founder of Price Productions, and such a wealth of knowledge. And we're so welcome to have you here.
Price
Welcome.
Promotions.
Price Promotions. Promotions. Okay. There it is. Okay. Wonderful. And, you know, it's just, in addition to the judges, we have so much support from the outside, you know, many supporters here. And I believe we have a little card we could show on that as well. But we wouldn't be able to do any of this without support from the outside. It's just way too many to list off there, but it's all there. And thank you, supporters. Thank you, judges. And this is just going to be a wonderful time here. And I think that maybe we should get started. What do you think, Steve?
I think that's an excellent idea. And so I know that Dina and her accompanist, Thriago Nascimento, are waiting in the wings, and I think we should bring them on for this complete performance of the Beethoven Violin Concerto in D major, Opus 61. And our soloist is Dina Nestorenko, and she's accompanied by Thriago Nascimento. You are now on the virtual concert stage. Brava, Dina Nestorenko. That was beautiful with her accompanist, Thiago Nascimento. And can we get a bow from your accompanist there? He's waving. Okay, thank you very much. A wonderful performance of the Beethoven Concerto. And we're going to jump right to our judges. Johanna, we'll start with you. And you, I believe, would have some comments for Dina.
Yes, hi Dina, I'm Joanna. It's so great to hear you play. Oh my gosh. Thing that some instrumentalists do. I'm a singer, and there's this thing some instrumentalists do when they breathe. I can see the sound that they're going to make by the shape of their breath, and I was captivated because I knew exactly the sound that you heard in your head. It was just like, oh, it was a dream. It was a dream, absolute dream to watch you play and to listen. I cried a lot. So thank you. There was this thing I wanted in the third movement, and I couldn't figure out what it was until you played the cadenza. And so the only thing that I would ask for, because I'm not a violinist, I don't have a lot of experience with this concerto, is to give more of the articulation and the push and pull that you gave in the cadenza previously, like earlier in the movement, as long as you feel like it's proprietous in the style of Beethoven. But because it like all of a sudden the third movement came alive like the other movements did when you played the cadenza, and I was like, okay, that's what I wanted. Okay. And I'm gonna try. Sorry, I wrote a lot. I really loved it. Yeah. Yeah. It's the sound. The sound is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this with us today.
Thank you so much. I completely agree with articulation. It's a constant with Beethoven. It's a constant goal.
Yeah.
It cannot be too much articulation. Never too much.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dikran, do you have any comments?
Well, I mean, I said everything I wanted to say in the last hour. I feel like if I repeat the same thing, it's going to be. But I have to say, I have a disclaimer. My audio was going in and out every 2 seconds.
Ooh.
Every time the audio came back in, it would speed up. So I didn't really hear it this time, but I heard it last time. I mean, I heard part of it, but every 4 or 5 seconds, the sound cut off completely. And then when it came back in, it was speeding. So,
Ooh.
That might be an
was
issue
really,
with your
really
Wi-Fi.
It wasn't last time. Anyway, I just think she's a phenomenal violinist, and she plays this concerto as well as it ever could possibly be played. I don't know though this performance, if it was this the same performance I heard before? What do you think, Georg?
If you're passing mic to me, thank you. You see, this is the thing. Yeah. Since this is not the first time I'm hearing Dina play, it's very rare that within such a short period of time there is such a how do I put it? It's like when I mentioned that there is a story, that like this story continues, almost like it was the extension of the previous story. What I loved about it is that it was not identical copy of the performance I heard earlier. It was different because it's 1 hour different, because there might be a different weather in this outside. I don't know. It's a different timing. Maybe it's something else is different. And I heard that difference, and this is very important because it speaks about your organic, presence with the music. I am always very wary of people who can perform same piece twice identical. It's something I'm really worried about, and I'm really happy to see that it was not the case. It had different colors this time, or maybe same colors with the different shades, and I tremendously enjoyed listening to it again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry.
That's not the sound we like. That's not the sound we like.
I'm so sorry. I have to say I was very drugged by anti-cough medication, so dizzy and all of that. So
I'm so sorry.
It was not my best kind of feel, but I
get better soon.
At the moment.
Well, you're a real trooper for performing twice.
Heck yeah.
And not feeling all that well, and we hope you'll take care of yourself. And we hope, as I'm not a judge, but I hope you'll go right to bed after this.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Take a lot of vitamin C and drink plenty of liquids, as my mother would have said. So there you go.
That's what I'm doing. Thank you.
Do you have any comments at all, Dina, or should we? Is there any other comments you'd like to make?
Yes, one comment I would like to make.
Please.
This is the format of a competition that I always dreamed of participating, that a participant can actually hear right away from the judges. I don't always want to hear the great stuff. I want to hear also the suggestions and everything, even criticism, and that's so helpful. And not many competitions provide that opportunity. And I was dreaming that one day maybe even I could create something like that, or somebody else. And it's so amazing that this format exists now. I'm so happy that I was able to participate in that, and I'm so grateful.
Well, thank you. I'm sure Anna will be pleased to hear that, and her
And I
team.
want to thank all the judges for all the kind words.
Oh, no, it's no problem.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dina. Take care of yourself, and we hope to be hearing from you soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great day too.
Yes, we have two performances left on this segment of our virtual concert halls, Con Allegro, Con Concerto, Con Orchestra. There we go. And the performers are going to be Victoria Marie Ramo, who's up next, and she'll be performing the Concerto No. 1 of Chopin, the first movement. And then we're going to come back to conclude this segment with a performance again by Kevin Matheson of the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, which he performed for us in the last segment. So we're looking forward to that as well. I know the judges gave Kevin very high praise and also made quite a few suggestions. We'll see if he is able to incorporate those into that performance. But right now, the performer is going to play for us the first movement of the Concerto No. 1 in E minor by Frédéric Chopin, and our pianist is Victoria Marie Ramo. The stage is yours. A wonderful performance there by Victoria Marie Ramo, and she's accompanied by, I believe, her mom, Marissa Rabdala Ramo. And we love that performance here on the virtual concert hall. So we're going to turn now to our first judge. We'll go with you, Joanna, and see what comments you have for Victoria.
Victoria, that was incredible. I'm so impressed. What an undertaking. This piece is really complicated and so challenging. I'm really, really very impressed. I thought you had
one,
huh?
two.
Oh, I thought you had is everything okay? Victoria, I thought you had a beautiful presence and a beautiful idea of the color of the sound. I think that there could be some nuances that you could bring into this that would help. Maybe give a little bit more time at the beginning and end of phrases, just to give the audience time to perceive what's happening, so that we can really listen and understand. And then the other thing I was thinking, I wasn't always sure which note or which resting point was most important to you. So I would pick not just through dynamics to show phrasing, but also how you shape the time, how you use time, whether or not you're slowing down a phrase or speeding it up to show which part is most important to you. I would love to hear that, because your playing is already spectacular. So thank you.
Well, thank you for that, Joanna. And let's go to Dickman. Would you like to add a few comments?
Yeah. This is one of the most difficult concertos, Victoria, written, simply because of the fact of the and the piano part is extremely exposed and demanding. And for that reason, I think you could give the conductor a little bit of a better time with more consistent tempo fluctuations. In other words, we were talking about tempo character earlier with someone else's playing. Means, in my opinion, that a tempo can be the same throughout, but it will seem to be slower and faster at times through a subtle tempo character change, not a tempo change. Okay. So there were sudden fluctuations of, I mean, sometimes the passage work, you just, I don't know for what reason, decided to do it almost twice as fast as the tempo. I think to have a real consistent understanding of Chopin in general, he was believe it or not, people love Chopin, right? But he was a very quirky composer. Much like, let's say, the Tchaikovsky concerto, you realize Tchaikovsky never uses the opening theme ever again in the piece, just in the intro. He threw away themes like it was because he had so many. But making it very awkward and very obtuse for the performer at times. Even, what's his name? Anton Rubinstein said it was an unplayable piece. You could say that about this piece if it doesn't have a certain consistency of thought and tempo. So you might want to think your sudden outbursts in acceleration, in ritardando, and in melodic stuff too. A lot of the filigree didn't make a lot of sense to me because it was rushed to the next beat. In other words, it didn't flow. It was, instead of framework of the previous episode. So more consistency in tempo, and that will let you dynamically improve too, because much of it can, a lot of people think these Chopin concertos, I know conductors sometimes think that, I don't know what Geborg thinks, but many conductors shy away from these two pieces because it's not very interesting for them, but it can be very interesting. It can be spectacular. And you could do it, but you have to really get a control of the elements before you start fooling around too much with the passage work. Let's see. Am I making myself clear?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because I don't want to be unclear. Also, when you start the second theme, yes, it's another world, but not that much of another world. You know what I mean? So, again, we're getting back to harmonic consistency, passage work consistency, tempo consistency, changes, but consistent, with the piece. That's about all I had to say, but I think you could play it very well. You have a very nice facility. And like our previous judge said, the colors can be very magical, but we have to, on some level, we have to hear every note. Every note must be heard.
Geborg, your comments?
Sure. Good evening. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Victoria. And I can't see, of course, we can hear your collaborative pianist, but just tell him or her that she's amazing as well, or he is amazing as well. Congratulations, and thanks for that. Very well done, collaborative piano. Now, look, Victoria, you obviously sound much more mature than you are. I mean, how old are you? So, how old are you, Victoria? Okay. Yeah, 11. But you obviously sound like a lot more mature than that, because I hear, and this probably goes to your teacher. The credit goes to your teacher, because I hear very typical Chopin sensitivities, gentle, but at the same time very firm touch on the keys. And I'm not a pianist myself, but I have conducted this piece a couple of times, and despite what most people, I agree with Tigran, many people shy away. It's just like, But this is one of the pieces that I personally like very much. Not because it's just Chopin or something, but because in this piece, orchestra and soloist are so synergetic. They come together. There's a lot of fusion of melodies. There's a lot of support, almost not always support to the soloist, but also soloist support the orchestra. At least that's how I see it. And many of these things you have done well. What I would love to see more from your play is more, should I say, confidence. I mean, you are confidently playing, but you're playing on your own. I want to imagine what it will be if you are surrounded by 65 people, other musicians. Most of them will be older than you, and you will have to control the entire process of this melody going. I'm not saying you can't. You very possible that you can do it, but this is why I started saying that you are playing a lot more mature than you are. So in that sense, I will not comment anything on piano, but of course I notice very well pedal, all the phrasing. Phrasings actually I like. Some of them were not exactly how I imagined, but it doesn't mean it's any word, it's not good. And this gentle and very almost romantic feel of the whole first movement was very nice. I would actually love to hear second and third movement as well, to hear complete picture. But I think you managed to showcase pretty well. Thank you and congratulations.
Victoria, do you have any questions for the judges or any comments you'd like to make?
No, but thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Well, thank you for giving us the
Absolutely.
opportunity
Welcome.
to hear you. We enjoyed hearing you, and we wish you the very best in your career because it's going to be a great one. We look forward to hearing from you again. And again, congratulations to your accompanist. I believe that's your mom, if I'm not mistaken. Was that your mom accompanying you, Victoria?
Say yes.
Yes.
Mom, show yourself.
Hi.
Hi there. Yes, very good.
Thank
Imagine. Yes, wonderful. Well, we have one more performance to go, and this will be the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto. We're going to be here the first movement, but I think, James, we have some promos we want to talk about and some other things we want to mention before we get to hear the Mendelssohn with Kevin Matheson.
Yeah, I just have to say first, I mean, it's just so fun hearing all this great music and, just sitting back and enjoying like we're a real concert, here in my studio. And bravo to everybody. And, to hear all these judges' comments, and it's just so overwhelming. I'm learning so much. And, I've been in this business for 100 years. So that's... But that's just great. But yeah, we here at Virtual Concert Halls do live programs every day. Usually around 2 or at noon, depending on which day it is. But we promote artists, we promote past performers, we do spotlights and new shows that are all about creativity in the field of music and art and music education. And it's just been a fun thing that we do. And, some of the shows that we've shown are the interviews that Steve Robinson has done with our performers as well. And so you get to see more Steve. But if you tune into our channel here on either Virtual Concert Halls, Progressive Musicians, or ColORCHESTRA, hit that subscribe button and smash that bell so that you don't miss anything. I mean, it's every day, and it's a lot of fun. One of the fun programs that we do have is a series that we started about the Beethoven symphonies, and the Magnificent Nine. And a while back, Virtual Concert Halls team put together this wonderful lecture series of almost all the symphonies. I believe there's 2 more we still have to do, but narrated by Lawrence Rapchek, and it's produced by the Architects of Music. And it's just a really fun, mind-blowingly wonderful lecture that he gives on all these symphonies. And we've broken them up into small parts, and we have our host, Anna Alspenskaya and Chris Au, giving commentaries and even diving into it deeper. And Steve, I believe you're in on the back end of this a little bit in some way, and with the Architects of Music. And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I created the series and gave it the title and raised the money to produce it. And when I moved to Chicago in the year 2000, I had never heard the Chicago Symphony because I hadn't spent much time in Chicago. And I went, but there was a pre-concert lecture. And the lecturer was Lawrence Rapchak, and he was just mind-blowingly good. It turns out over the last 25 years, he's given, count them, 400 lectures before.
Wow.
He's also a conductor, a pianist, and a composer. And after I left WFMT, I approached him with the idea. I said, Larry, everybody knows the 3 elements of music. It's rhythm, melody, and harmony. What about architecture? What about the structure of music? And he glommed onto that, and so we produced these programs that were intended as audio only. They were radio programs or audio programs, which we sold. And then one day I got a call from this Anna person. I'd never heard of her before. And she said, oh, these are the most wonderful audio I've ever heard. But, I think they could be more appealing if you added images. And having been a radio producer for 50 years, I'm always very polite. And I said, well, thank you very much. I've done pretty well with just radio for 50 years, so maybe that's enough. And she persisted. She said, well, don't be that way. Why don't you just send me a little clip from one of your audios, and we'll add video as a sample. And she did it with the Beethoven 7th, our opening, and we were floored. So we wrote to one of our foundations and said, we'd like to add movies. Do you have the money? And we got it, and here we are. So Anna and her team have really enhanced this, and that's the result of the movies. The audio is what I produce with Larry, who's a genius, and there you have it. That's a little backstory.
Yeah, they're just glorious. I've seen them all, and I've been working with the team on the small little segments, and we have a very, very tiny short preview clip that we'd like to show you of that right now. Enjoy.
It is terse, it is compact. Its dynamic energy is concentrated into a mere 9.5 minutes of music, the shortest opening movement of Beethoven's 9 symphonies. And it's all the more stunning because of the bold, unprecedented way in which it begins. Known to practically every living being on Earth. It's that powerful.
It is that powerful.
Yes. We've produced about 30 of these movies, not just the Beethoven. We've done the Schumann Second. Larry has done the symphonic variations of Dvorak, the Mozart 34th Symphony, the first movement. And also, he recently added 2 movies on the composer Franz Schmidt. Larry is a Franz Schmidt fanatic. Say that fast 10 times. And the 4th Symphony of Schmidt, he dissects, and it's really quite stunning. So you can get those on YouTube. You just go to YouTube and you type in Architects of Music, and there they are. So that's a little bit about that. By the way, the little avatar, the little stick figure of Larry, we got rid of that after a few episodes.
It's a neat little thing. I mean, it's a bot that the Virtual Concert Halls team created.
Right. We decided it was a little, I don't know, hokey or something. But anyway, the architect of music, Larry has a genius for taking a piece apart and showing you how the composer worked on it and what tricks they used to create these masterpieces. And it's they're quite beautiful pieces. I don't think there's anything quite like them. And we have the first 7 Beethoven symphonies are there. YouTube, Architects of Music. And we just recently got more funding to do 8 and 9.
Wow. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I mean, aside from, everything Steve said about them, I mean, they're just inspiring to listen to, really. Yeah. And I've been really enjoying getting to hear all these things.
Thank you very much. It was my idea, but Larry did all the work.
It's teamwork. Teamwork at its best there. And
yes, I once got the idea to produce over 4 weekends in 10 venues with 40 organists, all the organ music of J.S. Bach. And we did it. We did it, and it was first had never been done. But with my idea, and another guy did all the work. So that's how I get things done here.
hey, why not? Yeah, that's great. Another, along with that, that's not just all that we do here at Virtual Concert Halls, with progressive musicians and Sound Espressivo. And with Steve, we've been having our laureate galas at Carnegie Hall. And we have auditions open again, and that's an old card, but February 15th, if you want to play on our gala at Carnegie Hall, apply on our website. You can go to progressivemusicians.com, soundespressivo.com, and there's even a link to it on the ColORCHESTRA website as well. And we have openings for not just recitalists, but chamber music, orchestra. You can play a concerto with the New York Chamber Players at Carnegie Hall. Also, composers, new music, for soloists, ensembles, or orchestra. The New York Chamber Players will consider playing new works as well at Carnegie Hall. So that's open to everybody. Find that on our website and apply by February 15th. We're going to be in New York in April on the 1st and the 4th, and we're also going to be back in July 1st, and we're working on setting up next season. And that's in addition to all what we have going on with ColORCHESTRA for this season. It's quite overwhelming. But I believe we have a little clip that we'd like to show about Carnegie Hall as well, so enjoy that.
Hey, check this out. I know you have always dreamed of performing in Carnegie Hall. So I think this 2023 to 2024 season at Sound Espressivo would be perfect for you. As a platform, we host live online auditions so you can share your music with the entire world. Then we send you to incredible in-person venues like Carnegie Hall so you can perform solo, as a duo, as an ensemble, and with orchestra. This year we have a total of 4 gala events at Carnegie Hall, as well as 4 different opportunities to perform with orchestras in the US, in the Czech Republic, and even in Egypt. We want to help you fulfill your musical dreams. Go to soundespressivocompetition.com to check out our season and to apply.
It's pretty exciting, and you can see that there's some rehearsal footage with the New York Chamber Players in New York, and then there was a little bit about our last concert from last year with Western New York Chamber Orchestra for ColORCHESTRA, and it's just a lot of fun. And it's been fun having it's been great having you a part of that too, Steve. I've been interviewing all of our performers, speaking on stage, and it's just been a great time.
Indeed, I've loved it.
Should we move on to our final performer?
Yes, we have one final performer, and this young man will be judged by the 3 judges you heard talking earlier in the program. And this is a performance of the first movement of the Violin Concerto in E minor by Felix Mendelssohn. And our performer on the violin is Kevin Matheson. Kevin, and your accompanist, the stage is yours.
Welcome.
That was Kevin Matheson, accompanied by Judy Clark, in that opening movement of the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto. Beautiful performance, Kevin. And we have our three judges standing by. We're ready to give you a second assessment about that performance, and we'll start with Joanna.
Hi, Kevin. Wonderful. Thank you so much for playing. I love this piece so much. Thank you so much for playing the Mendelssohn. I didn't get to hear what the judges said before, so I'm curious to know what you changed when they start speaking. But the thing that really struck me is you're obviously really technically proficient. You're very, very precise and clear in what you want from your instrument. I want to know what you want from the orchestra. I'm not so clear on what the larger sound scope you have in mind is. I was in the moments when you were by yourself, you really took charge and really like went for it. The sound, the expression. I mean, I know it's a cadenza, so it's built that way, right? but I want to hear the same leadership in the sound when you're with the orchestra as well, because I think that this piece really relies on the soloist to make that happen, to make the whole sound happen, if that makes sense.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you again. Really spectacular playing.
Dick Ron, your second round.
Absolutely incredible. What a transformation.
Yes.
If everyone could do what you just did, everybody would be a genius. I mean,
that was a lot more fun.
That was absolutely cool, and you had a lot to say, and I knew you did, but it was pushed a little bit before. This was your opening was beautiful,
Yeah.
different. The passage work that followed right after the opening was just fantastic. I could follow it, it was just so melodic yet brilliant. It was still brilliant, just a tad slower, but I don't like to use the word slow. Man, you just did something. You really did something. I don't know what the heck you did. It was just incredible.
In the pocket, right?
I loved it. I thought it was one of the best Mendelssohn's ever. I just loved it. Yeah, it was stupendous, and I can't believe it. I still can't believe you sounded in a way like two different violinists to me. And also, I thought it was easier to follow if I was I don't know if Gevorg would agree, but I found it very liquid and very enjoyable to follow. It was just all your tempo, your moods and characters, and it just fell into place. It was like I'm really impressed. Well, I don't usually get that. That's just talk about two different night and day.
Gevorg,
Yet the same person. Anyway, thanks. That was great.
What does the conductor have to say?
Well, Lou, because this is not the first time I hear you play, and yes, I agree with Digran what he said about there was quite a transformation. When I heard it first time, I said you were playing with such an energy like Khachaturian or Tchaikovsky. You have downgraded it to Beethoven, I think. Now this time in a good way. I really liked a lot more this time, like the phrasing, the overall, the whole thing, the energy changed because the story changed. I think there was different stories about the same people, about the same situation, but the perspective changed. And this time you were using, let me give you this very quick comparison. In Chinese language, there is a concept of wei qi. Wei qi means crisis. And separately, these words, wei means something like a danger, and qi means opportunity. So in any crisis, there is a danger and opportunity, right? In a way. So it's a common thing that we know, but it speaks a lot about. So what I'm seeing it here is that when you play it once and you see there is some crisis in some ways that you feel like this can be done better, this can be done better, and in it was incredible how fast and in how efficient you have risen to that challenge, and
Yeah.
and this is really amazing, and I'm really happy to hear it. Thank you very much.
Kevin, any questions or comments about that?
I really appreciate the input, and I appreciate you listening to me and giving me such productive comments. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
And congratulations on listening to the first comments and transforming yourself. Yeah, that was quite beautiful. Well, this about wraps up this segment of the program, and we're delighted to inform you that we'll be back a little later tonight at 7 p.m. for more of this beautiful virtual concert hall presentation. And I think, James, that's about a wrap. We should remind people that the ColORCHESTRA auditions are what we're talking about here. Musicians are auditioning for an opportunity to perform with orchestras from around the world, and those orchestras are the Western New York Chamber Orchestra, the Bohuslav Martinu Philharmonic, the Cairo Opera Orchestra, the Boulder Symphony Orchestra. And these auditions are being judged by, you saw these three wonderful, insightful judges, and you saw how those judges were able to really transform the performance of the Mendelssohn that we just heard, which is a tribute to their insights, but also to, in this case, Kevin Matheson's ability to listen and take some of those suggestions. So I think we're ready to wrap up here. The goal of the auditions, of course, is to encourage and nurture young talent from all over the world and give them an opportunity on this global stage, because these programs are being streamed all over the place. Virtual Concert Halls presents them on LinkedIn, on Alignable, on Twitch, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and I think on my own television, on the living room it's coming across. I don't know how it got there. So it's really an opportunity for people to perform. And I think, James, we're ready to wrap it up. Is this it? We want to thank the team behind this, because a production like this takes a lot of teamwork. And our team is led by Anna Uspenskaya, and you can see on the screen there Anna and Franny and Igor and Fedor and all kinds of other people behind the scenes who are helping out. So we are very happy to wrap up this segment. Again, we're back at 7 p.m. Eastern with the West New York Chamber Orchestra, people auditioning for that. And I know that one performance will be of a piece by Manuel Ponce for guitar with J. Curtis Thompson. So with that, I'm Steve Robinson from Boston, and I will bid you all a farewell, and we'll see you soon.